Good afternoon, everybody. It's Natasha Watkins, your favorite realtor, and I'm here with Peter Ryder. We met first time in Connecticut. He's actually helping my sister purchase a home as well. So, if I trust him with my family, I trust him with my audience. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Honored, Natasha. Yeah, this is fabulous. I'm really enjoying being out here in the studio with you and
Nice, nice.
having some time to really talk.
Okay.
Your sister's phenomenal. We'll find her a great house.
Thank you, thank you. I won't admit that she's phenomenal. We can only say this is a secret. This is gonna get edited out. I'm letting you know that now because we have a rivalry going, and I gotta respect that. But with all jokes aside, can you tell us a little bit about how your career started, how you got into real estate, and what made you part of this business?
Yeah, so my start in real estate was really almost a fluke. I was in a family business. I was in the garment business, button business. I have no buttons on, but family
nice.
business, garment center, New York. Just really, really enjoying that. And my dad got sick and unfortunately passed away. And it was an opportunity for me to say, is this what I want to do? I had young kids. Do I want to go into the city every day? Do I want to, live that life?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Live that
yeah.
commuting life. And then it came time for me to buy a house. I said, what the hell? I'm going to get my license. I'll buy my own house.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Right. So, which is really how it started.
Okay.
And then the second part of that was after my dad passed away, which I just mentioned, was about a year later, my mother said to me, yeah, I think I want to sell the house. I want to move down south to Florida. And who should I use? And I had
The obvious choice.
the obvious. Well, no. So see, like at that point, I wasn't in the business.
Got it.
But this is working backwards a little bit. This is kind of how it all fit together, and I became really good friends with the agent who I chose, and I kind of went
Okay.
out and searched for who was doing business, who had a very, very empathetic way of doing business.
Yeah.
We interviewed about 4 people, and one of them I instantly became friends with.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's no longer here, but she was really
I'm sorry to hear that.
instrumental in my start. She convinced me to get my license. This is long before I was buying my own house, a couple years, and convinced me to get my license and come work for her nights and weekends.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so I was taking the train into Manhattan from Rye, New York.
Yeah.
I was going into the garment center. I was on a 6 something train in the morning and a 4:10 train coming home. I was working real estate, showing houses for her, putting offers out for her, doing open houses for her, photography appointments, inspections, everything. I learned from one of the best.
Yeah.
And I never really looked back after that.
That's
It took a
amazing.
few years, and then I was off into the running.
There's a couple of things that you said that's quite interesting. The first thing that you said is interview agents. And I think a lot is lost upon that particular point. Sometimes it's just not the right fit for me and for the particular client. And you want to interview at least 2 to 3 people for every part of your real estate transaction, whether it's your realtor, your mortgage guy, and everything like that. So I think that was a really good key point for all the buyers out there.
I think it's a key point for all consumers out there, right?
True.
We have a choice, and listen, my personality may not fit with some,
100%.
and as self-admittedly, and I'd rather that person be happy in the end than worry about the fact that I may not be the right fit for them, right?
100%.
Because if that happens, right, there's no way that the transaction is. There's enough bumps in the road that the transaction is going to go smoothly with that friction up front. So one of the things I always try to do, and 34 years in the business, you learn your ways and how to really kind of just say to everybody, we're here to put families together, to make homes, to create memories, and to have an experience at the same time where everybody feels like they were treated well.
Yes.
And so that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal is to really treat people well, And one of the cool things is our company has this thing about kind selling, and that's not something I made up. That's Sharon made that, like, is coming out with that. That's coming out. That's our company. And like for me, it was a no-brainer. I fit like a glove right
100%.
into this company. And the missing piece of the puzzle for me was that and is that. And it's still that, because there are so many changes going on in our industry that I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of misinformation out there.
100%.
There's a lot of confusion out there because of it. And there's a lot of angst out there because of it. And now, especially now, we really need to, everybody needs to work with one another. We need to, as professionals, work with consumers to help them understand what's going on and what those changes mean for them. We need to work with our fellow agents and colleagues, whether it's at our company or another company, to work together to get through this so everybody can continue to thrive in an industry that's basically a need. Right? Like people need housing, whether you're buying, renting, investing. Right? Investors, maybe you don't need housing, but
leave
like,
some of the houses for the regular people.
Yeah, but people need housing. People need a roof over their head. They need food on their table, and these are just basic things, right?
Yeah.
So why not be really, really sweet about doing it? And,
100%. Yeah. And you touched on that too. Work hard, be kind. And when the first time that I heard it, it just resonated with me as well. Right. Like I think in our industry, you find so many transactional brokers. They're there for that one transaction and then they move on to the next because they're in such of a hurry to get the next deal. But I think they miss. And one of the things that when I talk to you, Roger, John, and everybody instilled in stress is that don't be transactional. Be part of their family. Become more than just their broker. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's true. So we're in an industry where everybody thinks bigger is better. Okay, it's nice to be big. I get it. Like, I get people want to do more business. They want to say they're number one at whatever. Okay. I go with better is better. And that's also something that this company embodies really, really well. Better is better. And like, if you do things better, you'll get bigger naturally. Right. Like, and so like, for me, it really becomes a point that is a pain point for a consumer, right? Most consumers are really used to like being in an order mill, right? Like, or hey, I'm an order taker. Like, let me take your order.
Food.
The pandemic kind of made that a little bit worse, right? But I think we need to go back to, and we are very much for agents out there. So the consumer, you should know the agents out there. That they really need to have skills now, right? Like, we really, and most of us need to explain what's the value of having an agent represent you as a buyer, right? And as a seller. And they're two very different parts of it, right? Like, so the three parts of the transaction, right?
Yeah.
The buyer's contract, the buyer's agency contract, and that's going to be mandatory, right? Like, if you're a buyer and you want somebody to represent you, it's going to be mandatory that you sign this document and come up with your solution, your program with your agent on what that says and does for you.
Yeah.
A seller is the listing agreement, right? So we have the listing agreement. That's going to pretty much remain the same.
Standard. Yeah.
You're still going to have to explain what you do, but hopefully you have that. And hopefully you can explain as a buyer's agent what you do. And then there's the contract of sale that merges the two together, right? So and that's not going to change.
Nope.
Although there's going to be additional documentation that's going to needed to be part of that. So attorneys are also going to have to learn what our changes are in our industry that are now coming down.
Definitely,
we're around the corner, right? August 17th is.
Yeah. Is it 17th or the 19th?
I think it's the 17th. And we're less than 2 short weeks away from that.
Yeah.
Here's my fear, right? Here's my fear. I've done a bunch of business over 35 years with a lot of agents, and I'm friends. I try to remain friends with most of them, like really, and I think that that's so important. And my fear is that some of the agents out there just haven't paid attention, and while the trainings are now going on because all the forms are coming out, that they may not really understand how to articulate that, and my fear is that if somebody's not able to articulate what is now mandatory, it's going to possibly dilute the situation a little bit and make the consumer hesitant to say, this is now what we need to do.
What the
this
standard
is.
is.
The standard, right.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think one thing that we've done really, really well at Real is articulate how that transaction works. And we've had materials around it, the book for the new buyer's book that we had that just came out as well. So we've been really well versed in articulating it, and we've been preparing for the last year and a half. Just Team Fit alone. Yeah. The company has been preparing for a long time as well.
Team Raider as well. Listen, I'm the team lead for my named team, the Raider team. We service everything outside of like New York City into Connecticut, and we've been practicing buyer's representation for years. Like so the documents are changing a little bit, but we go out there and we give our all for our buyer clients. So we would like them to sign an agreement with us that they understand what we're doing for them. It could be for a period of time. It could be for a house. It could be for a day, right? But like that's something that like we've been doing. So in the end, I really, it's going to create some clarity. This is all going to create some clarity. It's going to create some clarity in what to expect from an agent, because most people pick up or go to Zillow, pick up or answer an ad. Somebody picks up the phone and then they say, well, this is the agent I'm going to use. And is that the agent you should use? I don't know. But what I do know is that with change comes uncertainty. And I'm going to go back to that. But with uncertainty comes opportunity. And we're still in there are other factors out there in our market right now that are so difficult for the consumer, and this should not be one of them, right? Like this should be something we should be able to articulate clearly. So Real has prepared us for this, right? That book, our presentation is so different than anybody else's buyer's presentation.
100%.
And I've gotten to use it recently.
Oh, nice.
And not in person, because like I'm still doing most things by Zoom for first calls.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? But or Google Meet video. But what I will say is you go through the book, you get to that one page, and you out there don't know what we're talking about, but we have this one page which is basically the Venn diagram chart or flow chart of what the transaction looks like, and people get it. People are understanding. Like people get that this is a process, and everything has to like come along in the process for you to get to that closing table and get a key to a house. Or hand a key to a house. And that's why we are so well prepared. Our leadership, Sharon, Tamir, the Educate, Dre, I mean, everybody has really given a lot of thought to this. We're paying attention to what the industry is saying we need to do. They've incorporated all that. Now, each state is different. They're probably going to all have their own forms. Know what your forms are, right? Like if you're an agent, know what your forms are. If you're in my state and you're struggling, I don't care if you're with me. I'm not looking to attract you and tell you to come to my company. I'm looking to say, hey, I'm out here for 34 years. I've been doing this. I've been practicing this. And I'm happy to help you.
And I think the good thing is, I think why we're having such positive feedback is that they appreciate the clarity. You know, they used to go out there, have 3 or 4 different agents, and it's good for the agent as well, because now that you have that signature, you know you're working with this buyer and it's an actual thing. I think both sides appreciate. I'm looking forward to the change myself.
And that's the truth, right? Like the clarity of what that agent is going to do for you is much, much clearer, right? I don't think a consumer, a buyer, a seller, a renter, a landlord really get what goes on. That like they think we come in, we do these pictures, we throw it in the computer, and it just happens, right? Come on, is that the case? Like
Oh
come on,
gosh,
come on, is that the case?
Oh man, I don't even want to go into it, but we just closed on a property in Valley Stream. If you knew what was going on behind the scenes, you would understand why we do what we do.
Right.
You know, why we're needed.
Yeah, and so that's where that empathy comes in, right? Like, and I tell people, like, people say, oh, you sell houses. No, I don't. I don't sell houses. That happens to be the product.
Yes.
Right. Housing happens to be the product. Right. I sell knowledge, experience, the ability to achieve a goal, and I'm not even selling that. Like that's just what I do.
Yeah.
And so like I always say, don't be salesy, right? We're okay. We're
Relationship.
It's relationship based,
Yeah.
right? Don't be salesy.
Yeah.
You know, I go above and beyond for in a hard market right now. I go above and beyond for my buyers, right? Like I send out letters, right? Where do you? Hey, Atashwa, where do you want to live? Tell me what neighborhoods you want to live in. They'll get a letter. Right?
Yeah.
I'll get a call. We'll get that needle in a haystack opportunity. It may or may not be the right house, but we'll get that.
Yeah.
I just put one in contract yesterday with that, and I'm listing their house. Right, like so
Amazing.
So you know, you send out a letter, you get a call. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. Right, like, am I looking to list these houses? Okay, not really. I'm looking for a specific house in a specific neighborhood for a client who I'm representing as a buyer's agent.
Yeah.
Which is what I should be doing and what we should be doing, right? Like we shouldn't be relying just on MLS,
No.
because that's order taking, and that's not what this market requires to achieve to be able to achieve success.
But we're gonna see a shift in real estate and a shift in the people in real estate because now we actually have to do our job.
Yeah,
Spring is over. Summer is gone.
winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming, and winter's coming. Not like, you know, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Winter is coming, and the truth of the matter is there's going to be a shift. You're going to see people who just maybe they're part timers, maybe they're old timers, maybe they're new to the industry who say, "This is too hard for me. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have to learn the paperwork. I get it, and I while I'm a little uneasy with that, like I don't want to see people leaving if if they want to be in an industry and it's something that they love to do. We don't want to see them leaving, but it will create a little bit of a shift that way. It's going to create a shift in how we as agents and do business.
Yep.
You know, so and you know, whatever that shift looks like for you as an individual agent, for me as an individual agent, for our team, for our company, for the agents we deal with in our market, we'll make it through it. Like,
we'll adjust.
Like I'm a little older than you. You don't remember when the MLS was phone books about this thick.
I heard
right?
the
like,
tales.
and you got them every other week.
Yeah.
And that's how you
should be found house
properties.
Yeah.
When
I
we
heard
went
the
to
tales.
MLS, everybody says, "Oh, I'm not going to use the computer." Da, da, da. When we went to buyer's agent, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to be a buyer's agent. And I'm being a little dramatic about that. When all of that stuff happened, I jumped into some courses.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to become a certified buyer's representative. I'm going to, you know, understand how to use the MLS system that's now in a computer, which is a little onerous, and you know, it won't let you go. And it took me hours to figure it out. I'm going to be honest with you, hen and pecking. But look at where we are today.
Definitely.
So I don't look at change as bad. It's progress.
Yeah. But that's what I appreciate about you is that, and I appreciate about the company. You know, we invest so much in the technology. We embrace change. And I think that's what make good agents last is when they embrace the change. Yeah. You've been in the business for 35 years now. you got to have some horror stories or some good stories. Can you bless us with a few?
Okay. My very first showing, I'm out showing for this top agent who I was working for, and knock on the door, ring the doorbell, open up the lockbox, and back then it was a combination like your locker in gym or in high school, right?
Yeah.
Like a combination lockbox. I hear music, hello, hello, hello. And you know, one person goes this way, one person goes that way. Next thing I hear is two people screaming, the owner was in the shower.
Oh, wow.
You know, like, okay. And then I've had some crazy situations. 2008, the market went not so good. Like, we all know what happened in 2008. A lot of foreclosures. And I actually had somebody, a confirmed appointment on an REO property. An REO property is a property, so the consumer out there can understand, is a property that is real estate owned. The bank is taking it back, and they're looking to get the people inside out, the owner inside out. And I was knock on the door. Who is it? Real estate, right? Knock, knock, knock. Real estate. Go away. I have an appointment. Go away. I have an appointment. Door opens up. Gun in my face.
Oh, wow.
Go away.
Yep,
I went away. Thank God. Thank God. Like, really, really, like, thank God, right? Like, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
And you know, fights between husband, wife, whatever it may be.
Yeah. So you swing quite a bit.
Closing on a house where the people haven't packed up and moved out and things
man.
like that. You know, there are so many stories. Listen, we're in a business where sometimes people are not selling for the right reason. Sometimes the people are in distress when they're selling. And so you have to have some empathy. Like, I was never expecting to be greeted at the door with a gun. I don't think thank God the guy
we came close.
didn't pull the trigger, right? Like, but like that could have happened. I mean, we've heard horror stories of agents getting attacked.
You got to be safe.
And you know, even as males, we have to be safe. Now we have safety alerts on our showing systems and our lock boxes. And if I don't do it, you know, it sends a message to my assistant and family members, and you know, like. Every once in a while, I'll get the call, "Are you okay?" Like, we were getting text messages. But that's okay, right? Like, that's okay. But listen, folks, we're in a business that is not a perfect science. It has personalities involved. It has some disappointment involved. It has a lot of highs and lows. And it is also, understandably, the second biggest stressor in life, second only to the loss of a loved one.
Yeah.
And if we as agents can just understand that and cushion that and be a team and part of the solution, everybody will get through everything.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's not a situation that anybody can't get through in any situation.
Yeah.
And so that's how I do. You know, that's how I really, really have stressed. And I wasn't always that way. Like, right. You know, we talked about about the ones that, like, you know, are bang, boom, 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 that are number mills. I'm not looking. That's not me. Right. Like, for me, it's about a relationship. All of my business is relationship based. Yeah. It's referral based. It's past clients in sphere. It's a family member calling me up and saying, "Hey, I've been working with the top agent in my town. I know I live a little further away from you than you'd want to come to. I've put out 8 offers. I haven't gotten anything."
Yeah.
And me going out and helping her secure a home just happened. We're about to close, right? Like, so these are real situations right now that are going on out there. And we as brokers, I'm a broker, as agents, as real estate professionals, as mortgage brokers, as attorneys involved, all have to understand that behind a piece of paper, a document that says we're marrying 2 parties, and an agreement that says I'm working with you, an agreement that says I'm working with you, they're human beings. Yeah. And these human beings need to be treated very, 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 very well, and deserve to be treated very, 100%. Very well.
Why real? Why Team Rider?
So the Raider team started. I was really just an individual agent for many of the years, and I joined Tom Ferry Coaching.
Yes.
And Tom is a friend, and my coach Dave Parker is also a friend now, and had a coach along the way who retired, and Mariam is a friend. And they all said, if you want to, we identified what my goals were, not only in business, but for an exit plan, right? For an exit plan. And most agents, their exit plan is a coffin. I want an exit plan. I want something that's going to be there after me, that remembers me as an industry, hopefully as an industry leader, and one who really did a great job representing whoever. And so I first started with an assistant, and then I got a couple of agents, and kind of like and building a team is not easy.
No.
And so there's been some ups and downs and reiterations and some health issues and change in staff. But my goal is to help other agents be successful, to give them a platform to work with and under on my team, and have me as their mentor, as their cheerleader, as their Aaron Judge to step in and hit a home run. I'm just using Aaron. Okay, I'm a Yankee fan. I'm sorry.
I grew up in the Bronx.
And,
Yankees all day.
Yankees all day, right? Like, and real brokerage was, like I made a move. I was with really three companies my entire career. I was with a company called Houlihan Lawrence.
Okay.
In Westchester County. Now they're also in Connecticut and maybe elsewhere.
Like a mom and pop kind of, or a little bit bigger?
It was a family-owned business, which is recently purchased by Berkshire Hathaway. It's a fairly big company. It was very, very good to me. And then 2008, when the market crashed, I went to Caldwell Banker because I felt that it was a bigger national platform. It gave me an opportunity. I knew some of the people there that I wanted, and went there. And then it took me quite a while to figure out that, maybe I didn't need brick and mortars. And then when the pandemic hit, it was really kind of almost a no-brainer. So I switched to a web-based company and went there, and then had this opportunity to come to the company yearly annual meeting called Rise.
Yeah.
And last year, and Tamir, president of the owner of the company, CEO of the company, like came over, spent some time speaking to me. Sharon, who was the new named president of the company, I know from Tom Ferry and from having conversations with him, was now part of the company. He came over and like embraced me, and they knew like I was not part of the company. And they weren't even trying to get me to be part of the company. They were just happy to see me.
Yeah.
Right? Like they were just happy to see me. They were happy I was there. They were happy I was open to learning the content that was being put out at the time. I came home and I said, my wife's name is Lisa. I said to her, we're moving. She said, huh? Where are we moving to? And I said, no, not the house. Right? Like, cause she got all upset about that.
Yeah.
And, cause we're pretty much in our dream house now.
Nice.
She said, I said, we're moving companies. And she said, oh my God, that was a very quick decision. Right? Like, and I never make any quick decisions. I said, this company embodies everything I stand for. And I there's something like, when are you married?
Yeah.
So the day you met your wife?
Yeah.
You probably knew.
100%.
Right? You probably knew. The day I met my wife,
you knew.
I knew. Right? And this is my second wife. I knew. And I was not looking for another marriage or another partner like that. I was looking for some companionship. But I knew. And like it hit me so hard that this was so right, and it's scary, and it was scary. There was a lot of moving pieces going on in my life other than business.
Yeah.
And I just said, I have to be part of this. Like this is what I've been looking for 35 years.
And you found
right?
it.
Like,
Yeah.
like not bigger, because every company I was working with was always the biggest, right? Like that was we're the biggest and we're the best. And I'm going to go back to the biggest isn't always the best.
100%.
And better is the best.
Yeah.
And better is better. And you don't need to be the biggest to be the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that just speaks to the whole thing that we've been talking about all day long is working hard, being kind, and that sense of empathy.
It totally, right? Like, right. And you know, I don't have a mean bone in my body. Everybody who knows me knows that, right? Like,
yeah, always smiling.
Like, right, and always kind of have a smile, like, you know. And I have crap that goes on just like everybody else. Excuse the French. Just like everybody else, I try not to wear it out in public. I try not to wear it at home. I try not to take it out on anybody and other than myself sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I always try to talk through it. Mm-hmm. And I check when I go out and I'm on, like, you know, whether it's speaking to somebody on the phone, a Zoom call, showing a home, listing a home, mm-hmm. working with an inspector, working with somebody else's buyer, working with an attorney, my ego is left at the door at home. Mm-hmm. And we all have egos to a degree, but like my ego doesn't interfere in my everyday practice. Yeah. Right. And so I know I'm very intentional in what I do and how I do it, and who I'm working with today, and my time in my day. Mm-hmm. And you know, if I have time in the day that's not scheduled for real estate, I want to be with my family, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to be with my family. I want to be just enjoying life, doing something other than worrying about what's next.
Yeah.
And so that's worked for me.
100%.
And now 100%, I'm like totally on board with that this is where we're going, and this is the path forward. And listen, you're a realtor out there. You've known that these changes have been coming.
Yeah.
Right. And if you putting your head in the sand is not a strategy, right? Not a strategy. Run through the storm.
Yeah.
Run to the storm. Run through the storm. Figure out the storm.
Yeah.
And this is not a storm, folks. This is just a new procedure. It's adding some transparency.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're gonna have to fill out a little more paperwork. Get used to it. You should be filling out more paperwork anyways.
Yeah, it's something that we were supposed to be doing anyway. So, you know, it just is what it is. I'm ready for the change. I think Real is ready for the change. I know Team Fit, Team Raider is ready for the change. It's been an absolute pleasure just chit-chatting with you.
As
and
well.
We definitely have to do it again, because I would love to go into a little bit more about that 35 years of experience, and maybe we could do something for the people and just explain how this process kind of works for them. Yeah. Any last final words that you want to say?
I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today, Atashwa. Like, this is an honor, right?
Thank you, sir.
Like, and when you're honored, you accept. When somebody's offering you an honor, you accept an honor. And you know, we're all in the same playing field.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Like, we're all, and if you're not even with Real, you're in the same playing field. Let's play ball.
Yes, 100%. It's been amazing. Natasha Watkins with Peter Rader. It's been a good show. We'll see you guys next time. Natasha Watkins, your favorite realtor. I'm out of here. Peace.